Thank you for being with us today. We are going to talk to you about Sun City Lincoln Hills. Troy and I just spent 2 days out there with a client. We toured, 10, 15 homes, quite a few homes, and we just wanted to talk to you about our experience, what we saw, what we thought would be helpful for sellers and buyers to know.
We've had a few clients
Yes.
that are buying out in Lincoln Hills. And so we've not just this last weekend, but we've seen it quite a few times. And it's really impressed us. There was a few moments that, as we're in that age group, the entry level part, that it was like, oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe this could be something. I mean, it really was more, I thought it was more Golden Girls, but it was more like resort living.
Yes.
With lots of variation on what you could do for all the 55 and, better ages.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Sun City Lincoln Hills, it's a 55 plus community. So you must be 55, or at least one of you must be 55 to buy a home there. It has so many amenities. First of all, it was built by Del Webb, which is now Pulte Homes, back in the early 2000s. I think they started building out there maybe late 90s, and I think they were mostly constructed through about 2007, 2008.
It's one of the Sun City communities.
Yes.
So this one is Sun City Lincoln Hills.
Yes. Although there are actually two sections there. There's Sun City Lincoln Hills and then Sun City Lincoln Hills Villages, which is the newer community there. But both sections do have the age restriction. So some of the amenities, the pools, you love the pools. Talk about the pools a little bit.
I just like the clubhouse feel. It's not just a building with a pool. It feels like they call it a lodge.
It's
Orchard Creek Lodge is the biggest one. It has a full service restaurant. Also has kind of a quicker service kind of pub bar restaurant attached. Both have inside outside seating, big views of the golf course. It's kind of cool. But then it has all these like fireplace sitting rooms and little nooks you can sit at. There's plenty of people to help. There's rooms where they do activities like exercise or dance classes. And obviously you don't have to do all these, but there are
we actually saw a
options
dance class going on when we walked through, and it looked like it was just led by one of the community members and with more community participants. So very low pressure, people just there to have fun.
It's like you really meet your tribe there. Like you kind of, go with the people you get. But then there's like a whole spa area where you can have spa services done. And then there's a huge 2-story gym with like a running path upstairs, an indoor pool, and then there's like this resort style. I say resort style because it's kind of like multi-level seating area with some covered, some in loungy chairs, and kind of a flowy pool. And I've been told in the summertime they have bands out there on the live bands on the weekends. They have a bar out there. So it feels like a resort.
Right. Yeah, actually, when we were there, I saw a whole schedule posted of live bands. It was like every Friday night, at least for like the next few months that they were planning. So kind of fun. And there's also, tennis courts, pickleball courts, bocce ball. They
have a whole baseball diamond and a couple golf courses.
Right. And we actually saw a golf tournament going on while we were there, and people having fun. And then just miles and miles of walking trails. So if you have animals or you just like to get out yourself, you essentially never have to leave the community. And we did see they have some medical facilities there. They had dry cleaning. They had a little kind of corner market that you could go to as well. So lots of great options. And lots of golf carts driving around. And many of the houses, which we'll talk about in a little bit, had golf cart parking inside the garage, which is great.
And there's a second lodge that's Calaga Springs that's smaller, but also still nice. Has a kind of a quick service restaurant there, and then has a gym and a spa. And it's, just kind of spreads things out a little bit.
Yeah. And actually, when we were there, we did stop at the little pub inside Orchard Creek with our clients. Our client brought a friend, and all of our food was great. I had a Cobb salad. You had a BLTA, and I was actually jealous. The bread was nice and buttery and crispy, so kind of fun.
Yes.
So
like what kind of price ranges do we see?
So we were looking at homes. Our client was looking for a house that was 2 to 3 bedrooms, so a den option would be fine for her. Really wanted at least 1,700 square feet if she could get it, but was open to anything bigger than that. That was kind of in her price point. She was pretty broad in her price point. She was willing to look at houses starting at $650,000 and open to anything up to $900,000, depending on what they provided for the money. And so we're able to share with you kind of a vast array of what we saw and experienced and what we felt like you got for the money. So I would say at under 700K, you're going to get a smaller home, definitely under 1,700 square feet, would not have 3 bedrooms, would probably have a den, depending on which floor plan it is. Often older finishes, not really updated, but you still are in the community with all the amenities and could put those updates in yourself.
Yeah, you have an opportunity to increase the value by updating the house. Right. But at kind of the under 700, these are ones that haven't been updated, smaller homes that haven't been updated yet. And then as you go from 700 to 800, now you get kind of this wide range of smaller homes that have been updated and larger homes that haven't been updated. Right. So you get kind of a mix. So then you get to kind of look at what's more important to you, the larger home with opportunity to grow in value by making your own updates or getting something that somebody's already done for you.
Right. And actually, so these homes that we saw were between 1,800 and 2,200 square feet. One of them actually had a small little, I guess, casita outside. So in addition to the 2 bedrooms and a den inside, there was an extra bedroom or office. There was no bathroom in there or anything. It was just a room, but great if you needed some flex space. Yeah. I thought pretty good value.
It could be for a workout too, or if you have guests come and stay. Often that looked like it was kind of in a little courtyard or maybe an outside gate you could close off because there wasn't a bathroom in these.
Right,
so
right.
And remember, at this 55 plus community, you can have guests for a little bit. I don't know the exact specifics, but it's not like you can have people under 55 stay with you for long periods of time.
Right.
Other than the co-owner.
Correct.
So adult kids or young or grandkids and stuff, they can come visit and stay for a bit. But I imagine it's like a month or less.
Right.
So.
And then when you get to the 800 and above, so we tour between 800 and 900 larger homes. There was one actually on the golf course for that money. Another one that had been renovated with really high-end finishes in that price point as well. And I would say that really in this price range, it was interesting what you got for your money. Like some felt like, yes, definitely worth it. And others felt like maybe the sellers were reaching a bit, trying to get more money for their house than maybe we thought was worth it based upon the other homes we'd seen for less money.
Yeah, just like we see in other neighborhoods, after you look at some houses, you start to get a feel for the different prices and what you get, and you start to kind of get a kind of just a rough idea of this feels like it's really worth it, and this doesn't feel like, or it feels like it's overpriced, and it's been sitting on the market for a bit, so maybe it is.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of what we saw inside the homes, just to give you an idea of what we were saying was great and maybe things that could be improved. In case you are thinking about selling yourself, here's some pointers for you.
Yeah. So like on the flooring,
huge, very important piece of it.
I mean, we saw a lot of, I would say the best stuff we saw was kind of the vinyl plank, kind of the luxury vinyl, kind of the fresher look,
lighter tone,
easy to clean, easy to keep going. There were some wood floors, that were kind of probably a laminate wood. Those also look great, but some of the darker ones made the house feel dark.
Yes, small.
And then there was some houses still had a lot of carpet in it. And at least for our buyer, she was not interested in carpet. So that was a detractor. Obviously we could take out the carpet could come out and put in new flooring, but at a cost.
Right. And then tile flooring we saw in many homes too, especially in kitchens, which is pretty normal. I think what worked well was when you saw tile adjacent to wood or even LVP, as long as the tones were similar. But there were some homes where maybe they just didn't have the funds to pull out the tile in the kitchen, but tried to update the rest of the house, and the flooring tones were mismatched and it really stood out. So that would be something to watch for. Another big plus, actually kind of tied with the look and feels you walked in, were plantation shutters. Yeah. And the homes that had the plantation shutters were really eye-catching.
Right. And so let's talk about kitchens.
Okay.
So the kitchens varied a lot at the different price points. So we saw some with updated appliances, and then some with kind of older, appliances from the early 2000s. They might be white appliances, and that wasn't totally horrible, but it didn't feel as updated as some of the fresh appliances where there was some remodeling done. The best kitchens we saw had maybe quartz or some less dramatic granite countertops.
Yes. Less busy.
Yeah.
Again, lighter tones are definitely what people are looking for right now.
And and maybe painted cabinets, nicely painted. There were a lot of options there. Also, some of the older oak, kind of makes it look a little bit dated. So there's opportunities to make some change, paint them or something.
A couple of things that we saw that were deterrents. We're having mismatched appliances where some were white and some were black, or some were, the stainless and the black together are probably fine, but when you start having white mixed in with others, the white was less desirable anyways. Another thing we noticed is that there were several homes that did not have a built-in microwave, and instead they were on the countertop. And that seems to be a pretty big deterrent, actually, inside and out of Lincoln Hills that we've seen. So if your home does not have a built-in microwave, if you are going to put it on the market, it would be good to have a solution in place. So for example, already have it like installed in the pantry with power to it, so a prospective buyer
or an event hood,
could easily see where they could have it themselves.
Right. Some of the other things we noticed that were kind of differentiators from house to house was the primary bathrooms.
Yes.
Some of them updated, some of them not. Remember, when you're buying in a 55 plus community, right? I mean, obviously we can get in and out of a tub that may be in a primary, but as we age out, a tub may be less desirable. Maybe a tub somewhere in the house, or a tub with a walk-in shower. But there were a few houses we toured that had, in the primary, it was a shower over tub, like a big soaking tub, but you had to climb into it and then shower, and that was a no-fly for our older client.
Right.
So that's something to consider too, in kind of what we saw. Again, countertops, things in the like quartz, light, like less dramatic granite. We're kind of moving into that space, and what really feels like it's fresh and updated.
Yeah, and I would say just kind of along those same lines with feeling fresh and updated is you're looking at just the kind of overall flow and layout of the home.
Yeah.
Something that had a really dramatic impact on our showings. And again, I would say this is not just in Lincoln Hills, but especially in Lincoln Hills, was paint color. And since some of the homes are a little bit older, and maybe the homes only have 9-foot ceilings instead of 10-foot or higher ceilings, when there's darker paint on the wall, they definitely felt dark inside and much smaller. And I mean, I would say a lot of the darker painted homes, we had a difficult time, or our client had a difficult time even considering as a purchase, even knowing she could change the paint. It was like, that's still one more thing I have to do. And really, I think the open concept right now of the kitchen and family room together is big.
Yeah. Most people want to at least be able to have a connection between the kitchen and the kind of general living space. Having it around a corner. But most of the homes I think we saw in Lincoln Hills had that.
Yes.
That kind of style. I'd say the other interesting thing that really made an impact on what felt like the value of the home was the backyard. This is where it's interesting, because the backyard, I had kind of heard this the other day, but it really kind of was sinking into me that a great backyard, it means more than square footage. So you may have a home that's 1,800 square feet versus a home that's 2,200 square feet, but having a kind of a resort feel, or maybe easy to take care of, but like I can picture myself sitting outside, and I have shade spots, and I have sun spots, and trees, and just interest in the backyard maybe it's a pool. But in Lincoln Hills, there aren't a lot of pools. You go to the lodge for the pool, but just that resort style feeling is just something that feels relaxing and a place you'd want to hang out.
Yeah, and especially because Lincoln does get really hot in the summer, the big covered patio in the back is definitely a draw for people. So if you have the opportunity to even extend your existing patio space and build a cover, even if it's kind of that filtered
like
cover,
a pergola,
just to give a little bit more of a sense of shade where you can spread out a little bit, really helps your backyard feel open and roomy and like people could gather there. And I think that's really important.
Nice. What would be, so like, this is a great fit for people that are 55 plus?
Yes, and I mean, I think,
active.
Yes, and what, especially because when you look at the community as a whole, there's the ability to walk everywhere, and
there's trails
and kind of little like nestled in. I would almost call them sub communities. And I know, just talking to people who live there, that in those little groups there are like bunko or book clubs and things like that. But the ability to have micro communities and ability to move around easily and not have people that don't live there necessarily zooming through the community all the time just gives you a sense of calm. I mean, the grounds are stunning. They are probably
it's really well taken care of.
The most well maintained community I think I've ever seen. I mean, it's just like hardly a leaf on the ground.
Yeah, our clients kept commenting on how just nice it's taken care of. It just doesn't feel, it feels so much nicer than a standard neighborhood, because you're paying an HOA dues and they're taking care of the neighborhood grounds, and it's a very big neighborhood. And speaking of dues,
yes.
So dues range a little bit. I think we see dues from about $160 a month to $200-ish a month.
Yeah.
But it's so relative to other HOAs, that's not super high.
Not for everything you get, especially that front yard. One question we get a lot is front yard maintenance included? It is not. But there's plenty of gardeners around there. Yep. It looks like most homes do have a gardener take care of them, because there are standards for the community as far as how well it's maintained. But it's really pretty.
Yeah. And the other reasons to live out there, you want to be close to Sacramento area, but not be in Sacramento. It's really close to Roseville and Rockland. I mean, it's basically adjacent to Rockland. So it's just a quick kind of little pop down on 65.
Maybe 45 minutes or so to the Sacramento airport.
Sure. Yeah.
30 plus minutes to downtown Sacramento.
It's got built-in social life. These are the other benefits, right? It really gives you an opportunity to kind of make the type of social life you want and have that available to you. Who's maybe not the right people for this?
I think there's a couple groups of people that maybe would not fit in this. If you are used to having a lot of privacy and a lot of elbow room, this may be an adjustment for you anyways. Especially the golf course properties, it's difficult to fence them in to the point where you could contain a large dog. Probably a small dog would be fine, but something that you would have to think about. And again, if you really like a lot of privacy, I mean, you are
and the
still
lots
in a neighborhood.
aren't really big,
right? Most of them are under quarter acre, but
even
quite a bit.
I mean, they feel fine. The backyards they have backyards. It's not a little patio home style, but it's not a grand yard on most houses. The other piece is, if you need a house or you're wanting a house that's bigger than about 2,800 square feet or so, there's a few options there, but they get pretty limited.
Right. They're generally on the golf course, and they're probably $1 million plus when you're starting to look at those. So the other thing is, if you're a person that doesn't really enjoy being under the purview of an HOA, because anything that you do to the exterior of your home does have to be approved by the HOA. And I haven't heard, everything I've heard so far about the HOA is positive, but it's still something to think about.
Yeah. So if you're thinking it feels like maybe it's a fit, if you're thinking about 55 plus communities in general, there are others around, and we have other clients that are visiting some others we'll do another report on. But give us a call, drop us a note.
Or if you're thinking about selling out there too, we're happy to walk through and just give you our kind of guidance on what you can do.
Since we know what buyers are looking for.
Yes.
Yeah, so reach out to us.
Thank you.